Hey, what's going on, guys? John Shea here with the No Shame Income vlog, and I realize it's been a little while since I've released a new video. Over the past couple months, I was doing a lot of product reviews, and I really wanted to kind of reshift my focus on what I've been doing with my YouTube channel, and I've decided to spend a little bit more time focusing on all things email marketing, which is something that I've been really passionate about. For those of you who don't know, I made an announcement to my email list a little while back, and basically I decided to team up with a lifelong friend of mine. We basically started a copywriting and email marketing business where we've gone out and basically started up a business where we help other businesses with their email marketing, managing their emails, writing emails for them, and doing all the above. So that's been working out really well. We were able to basically in about 60 days turn that business from pretty much nothing to almost $10,000 a month. So it's been going really well. And what I wanted to do is start creating more videos talking about different tools, things that you could be doing, all surrounding the kind of topic of email marketing, right? So today I'm actually going to be doing a kind of off the cuff review of a software called Mailcheck. I was offered some free credits with this and I wanted to try it out, share it with my audience, show you guys what this is all about. So basically what we're going to do today is go in and I'm going to take a list of people that I had that subscribed to an affiliate webinar of mine, and we're going to run it through the software and see what results we get. We'll kind of talk about the service, what they can do for you, and why this is something that you may want to use. So let's dive into today's video. All right, so again, there's many services that offer this type of functionality, right? If you were to go on Google, in fact, let's jump on Google now. If we were to type in something like verify my email list, right? Maybe something like that. You can see there's many people running ads, Bright Verify, email validation, check email list validity. And then we've also got a bunch of others. Never bounces here twice. Here's like the top 10. So there's tons and tons of these services that can validate emails, right? And many of them do it in different ways. Some may be better than others. I believe I've used Never Bounce in the past, so we might do a review on that later. But this company had reached out to me called Mailcheck, and they said, hey, we'll give you some free credits. You can validate some of your emails, make sure that they're legit. And then if you decide to go out there and utilize these emails for any activities, maybe that's just doing outbound outreach, mailing them from an autoresponder, whatever that may be, you can confirm that they're actually real emails, real people. And that way you're not just sending to like junk email addresses, you're not sending to addresses that don't get opened or have high bounce rates, things like that, which will ultimately lead to you ending up in like spam traps, things like that. So it's pretty straightforward. Turns your cold mails into hot leads, validates emails through social networks. They say that 2.47% is the percentage of bounces sent cold-based email addresses after our validation. So they are saying that they reduce the amount of bounce rates based on their validation features, and then they have an API integration. So if you wanted to tie that into some other service, they offer that as well. Pricing starts at $10 a month, which gives you 1,000 emails to validate. So that's the plan that I have, which is essentially just like extremely low per email. They then have a little FAQ here. So we supply the data from public sources, system search, social networks, and open databases that are available online. They talk about the different social networks they use. How do they differ from the competitors, right? That's the big question. Unlike our competitors, aside from automatic search and validation, we also provide manual moderation. So we use all the power of social networks and search engines for more in-depth validation. They ask, what's the trial? So with the trial, you can do 10 emails for free, which obviously isn't much. If you have a larger list up to 100, you can input a credit card and you won't be charged. So that's actually kind of cool. You could give them the credit card. They're not going to charge you, but they'll do a free trial. You can do up to 100 leads, which is not bad. So if you wanted to check a smaller list and validate that, you could use it for free. They do have a beta version, it looks like, where they can also check validation on phone numbers. So that's pretty much it. Let's sign in and see if we can test this out. So I've actually already signed up to the platform. And as far as I know, I should be good to go to validate up to 100 emails. So yeah, it looks like I'm set up on their pro tier, and you have a few different options here. You can do a quick validation. So if I want to throw in like a quick email, I can see how much usage I've used this month. I also have the ability to verify bulk emails. They have a direct integration with Mailchimp, which is nice. And then reply.io. I haven't used that before, but it does sound vaguely familiar, like something maybe I've seen in the past. and then I can also do a direct upload. So that's what we're going to go with. We have a specification of how these are all set up. So I actually just downloaded a file that I should have, I believe, on my desktop. Let me actually jump back. So this is my export. It says it finished. I'm going to hit download. And this is now my list. So this is a list of 150 people that basically I had set up. So this should all be basically split by columns. So there's no none of that. So if we go back to Mailcheck, I would assume it'd probably be like a tab would be the best way that it's split. So let's see what happens. I'm going to take this list. So it looks like it picked up on everything, right? They can see all the different columns. They can see the emails, the first names, and then this is the list name. So to give a little bit of context on this so you guys know what I'm validating, right? I actually had set up an affiliate funnel for a webinar that I was promoting on behalf of one of my clients. His name is Jono Armstrong, and he has a webinar where he sells an affiliate marketing offer. So I actually ran some YouTube ads, and I decided to see, hey, what would happen if I, spent like $1,000 and got 100+ leads into this funnel, and would I make any sales? Would I make some money? And ultimately, I ended up shutting this off a little bit early. I probably needed to test it a little bit more, make some tweaks, and then they've had some changes. But either way, it's interesting because it's very possible if someone goes to register for this webinar, there's no validation check during this section where you can go and put in an email address. So someone could put in a totally probably bogus email address here, and this will be a good test to figure out, well, of the 150 people that did register, is Mailcheck actually doing its job? Is it going to confirm that these are real people? How many of them are bad? And what kind of results did we get from spending about $1,000 on YouTube ads to go and register for a webinar? So we're going to jump back here, and it looks like this is now confirmed. We're going to hit send file because it did pick up. It says the file was successfully uploaded. So I guess we go to uploaded files, and now I can process this. So it's basically loaded the list. So we're going to do process. And I actually don't know how long this is going to take. So just let me know that this is now started. And I'm going to assume that this probably takes a little bit of time. It looks like now I have an option where I can possibly download this. So it looks like it already got me back a result. So I've actually got this opened. When I do my screen sharing, it's a little bit bigger than what you guys see because I'm doing this recording on an ultra wide. So let me shrink this down, and it gives me what appears to be a list of some different results. So it tells me, let's see, I'm going to kind of break up these columns, and then it actually finds if they have a Gravatar or Facebook and the trust rate. So I'm not sure if I can find out. I really have to figure out, like, can I find out some more information about what all these things mean? Can change my settings, refer people. It can see that I just uploaded the 153 leads. So it doesn't look like it's too obvious using this service what these things are, but it does look like it's giving me some data. It's not an SMTP catch-all. So like some of these, right, I'm assuming if the trust rate is like lower, like this one here, it gets a 50, then it's probably not great. Or like this one here that got a 0. It found that the MX record does not exist. So this is an iCloud. Although this looks like a legitimate email, my suspicion is that maybe it's actually a fake email, like they just put in something random. So as I go through this, there are a few of these, and then you've got some with really low, like this is a weird domain, mailetk.com. Like I've never even heard of that. So obviously they can see that the MX record exists, the SMTP exists, but then it has false under is not an SMTP catch-all, is not disposable. So essentially what I'm getting out of this, like if we go, we'll use this domain as an example. We know iCloud is Apple, but I wanted to look at this other one, right? This Mailcheck domain. And again, there's only one of these. Let me see. Of course, I lost it. There was our iCloud one. We have a few of those. Here's a Gmail one that didn't exist. So it'd be interesting, right? Like, let's take this record, and I'm actually going to go back And I'm going to log into my active campaign. And if we go to my contacts, and we do a search, I'm going to search for this contact, right? See, can we find some data about this particular person? And I think this is loading, just taking its time. It's trying to load all the data. So really what I'm trying to figure out is, does this person that essentially this tool came back and said, hey, this isn't very good data, or this person doesn't really exist, have they been engaged at all? So I actually have a system inside of my active campaign account that attests a score based on how active someone is. So this score indicates that this person was actually active to some extent. They were opening emails and doing different things. So I can see all the different campaigns that were sent to them, the emails that were sent to them, and they actually did go and click on some of these links. So that would indicate that they are active to some extent. So it's sort of interesting data. Like I wouldn't necessarily go in here, and it's giving me a very low trust score. But again, it's telling me that this is a false address, yet this person was actually engaging, clicking links, and doing things inside my system. So I think the bigger thing out of this, right, I didn't get much data in terms of social, but I was able to get some idea of are these, somewhat legit? I would say overall, this service is giving me some data, but I don't know how useful this is to easily be able to go and say, okay, well, these are definitely bad. I've used some other services in the past that I know were very specific. Like they would tell you, okay, these leads are really good. These leads are maybe sketchy. And these ones are definitely bad and you should not send to them. So those ones I would just exclude entirely and take completely out of the equation with my email list. This service so far, I mean, it was able to come back very quickly and give me this. I think the is not disposable is very interesting to be able to kind of gather data. So here I found this domain. It's Mailcheck. So let's go to mailetech.com and see. I can't even get to this domain. So I have no idea what this is. Maybe if we go to Google, we'll just take out the .com. So it says there's some spam activity from people with that domain. It has spam activity. So my suspicion with that particular email, and that this is something very common that people will do, is there's these temporary email services that people will use. They'll go in and say, hey, I'm going to sign up to this webinar, and ultimately they do that, but they use a throwaway email address account that they created just in order to get passed and get registered to the webinar. And then that way, when they start getting my emails, they actually don't receive any of them, right? They're going to go to this junk inbox with no data where they're never going to read them, and it's basically throwaway. So that would be a lead that I was able to see, that came back through this that definitively is something that I could remove. Now, if we check this, oops, I'm going to actually check this one, and we'll do the same thing. I'm going to jump back to our contact list, and I'd be actually very curious, did this person in fact do anything? Did they open any emails? Was there any activity? And I'll be able to tell that from my lead score. And we can kind of go from there. So let's jump back. Of course, I'm waiting for this to load. I don't know why this is going so slow today. It's for whatever reason, active campaigns sometimes can fuss up, and then it just causes things to all get really slowed down. So yeah, now it's telling me the page is unresponsive. So all right, there we go. I think I clicked too many times. Took it a moment there. So we're gonna do that search and we'll wrap this up. So yeah, exactly as I suspected. See, they signed up and our score is 0. So that means that this person signed up with a name, gave me that email, but essentially it's a bad email. So this is really someone that I could completely remove from the list and I wouldn't feel bad about it. Again, I mean, overall, I think this service is okay. For the price, it's not bad. You get some idea, right? I was able to find this email that legitimately I do know is bad. But overall, I think there are probably some other services that might do a little bit better job if you're looking for email validation. Overall, this one's not terrible. So I'm going to kind of leave it up to you guys. I don't think it's very expensive. If you wanted to check a smaller list, you could get a basic idea of what's going on. I'll leave a link below in the description if you want to check out Mailcheck. If you sign up through me, I do get a little bit of a credit, so I appreciate that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave a comment below. And again, in the future, I'll be releasing more videos. I'm probably going to be talking about a lot of things all related to email marketing. And that's why I wanted to kind of kick things off talking about some software that obviously relates to email list building. All right, catch you later.